What is the city of Troy? Troy was one of the most famous cities in the ancient world and serves as a setting for many of the greatest stories in Greek mythology. Located near Dardanelles in what is now modern Turkey, Troy stood as a strategic crossroads between Europe and Asia. Because of its location, the city controlled important trade routes and became a center of wealth, influence, and military power. Now, according to myth, the city was founded by King Aeolus, a descendant of Dardanus. The city is often known by alternate names, including Eos and Ilion, names that appear throughout ancient Greek literature. Now, the legendary walls of Troy were said to have been built with the assistance of the gods Poseidon and Apollo, and these mighty walls made Troy one of the strongest and most admired cities in the ancient world. For generations, Troy was ruled by a powerful royal family. Its greatest king was Priam, who ruled aside his wife, Hecba, and together they presided over a dynasty whose members would become some of the most famous figures in mythology. Among their children was Hector, the greatest defender of Troy; Paris, the prince whose actions helped ignite the Trojan War; and Cassandra, the prophetess cursed to speak truths that no one would believe. Another of Troy's great heroes is Aeneas, a warrior whose story would continue long after the city's fall and would eventually become central to Roman mythology. The city's fate was intertwined with that of Helen, often described as the most beautiful woman in the world. Helen was the wife of Menelaus, king of Sparta. When Helen left Sparta and arrived in Troy with Paris, a conflict erupted in what would be known as the Trojan War. In response, the great kings of Greece united under the leadership of Agamemnon and launched an epic expedition against Troy. Among the Greek champions were Achilles, Odysseus, Ajax, and Diomedes. The war itself would last for 10 years. Throughout the conflict, the gods themselves were said to have taken sides. Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite all played roles in the events leading to the war, beginning with the famous Judgment of Paris. Now, according to myth, Paris was asked to decide which goddess was the fairest. Hera offered him power. Athena offered wisdom and victory. Aphrodite offered the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen. And Paris chose Aphrodite. That decision would change history. Despite the mighty walls, Troy eventually fell through the deception known as the Trojan horse. Believing the Greeks had departed, the Trojans brought a massive wooden horse inside the city. But hidden inside were Greek warriors who emerged during the night, opening the gates and allowing the Greeks to enter its entire army, and led to the destruction of Troy that night. Yet the city continues to live on through legend. Its heroes, kings, queens, warriors, and prophets remain among the most recognizable figures in mythology. More than 3,000 years later, Troy is still remembered as the city of Priam, Hector, Paris, Helen, Aeneas, and the war that reshaped the ancient world. But beyond its walls and its heroes, Troy leaves us with two enduring questions. First, who's Helen? No figure is more closely associated with the fall of Troy than Helen of Troy. Described as the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen was the daughter of Zeus and Leda, according to most traditions. Her beauty became legendary throughout Greece and eventually made her the center of mythology's greatest conflicts. Yet Helen remains one of the most debated figures in ancient literature. Was she a willing participant in the departure from Sparta, or was she abducted? Was she a victim of divine manipulation, a symbol of desire, or a woman expressing her own agency? Ancient authors, playwrights, and poets offer different views. In some traditions, Helen is portrayed as responsible for the war. In others, she becomes a tragic figure swept along by forces greater than herself. Regardless of the interpretation, Helen remains something larger than a single person. She becomes the embodiment of desire, status, beauty, and power, the prize for which many kingdoms were willing to bleed. The question of who Helen is truly remains one of the most enduring debates in Greek mythology. And also, did the gods intend for Troy to fall? Another enduring question concerning the destruction of Troy was the part of the divine plan. Several ancient traditions suggest that the gods desired a great war among mortals. Some sources claim that the earth herself had become overburdened with humanity, and that the Trojan War served as a means of reducing the population of heroes and kings. The origins of the conflict can be traced back to divine events, including the judgment of Paris and the rivalry among the goddesses Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. These events ultimately placed Helen at the center of a struggle that would engulf the entire Greek world. In this interpretation, Troy's destruction was not merely the result of human choices, it was the culmination of a chain of events set in motion by divine powers. And that raises a deeper question. Was Troy destroyed because of the decisions of Paris and Helen, or were they simply playing roles in a fate already written by the gods? The myths offer no single answer, which is why the question continues to fascinate scholars, storytellers, and audiences thousands of years later.